Have you ever asked yourself, where do prices of goods or services come from? Why does a soda cost what it does? Why does a bag of chips cost what it does? Why does it cost $30 to join the YMCA for a month? Or why is my rent a certain amount of money? Well, let me give you the answer. It's not some sort of crazy idea. It's simply supply and demand. That is what determines the price of everything, or it should. Now, sometimes the government interferes and messes with the system, and that's not good. But what should happen is supply and demand determine the price of goods or services. Supply is simply the amount of something. Imagine in here, these are boxes and boxes and boxes in a warehouse of toothpicks. Imagine every box is filled with thousands and thousands of toothpicks, and you figure out, well, that's the supply of toothpicks. And we'll tell you about how supply, whether it's really high or really low, will affect the price. You probably know a lot of this stuff in the beginning of this lesson is common sense, and you already know it, and you live your life by it. We're going to go over it, and then we're going to go into it scientifically and look at some microeconomics to go into detail why supply affects price and how demand affects price. Demand is basically how badly someone wants it. You can see in this picture, people really, really want what's in that box, which I imagine are shoes. Looks like it's shoes, or it could be some sort of electronics. High demand, and if people really, really want something, it's really hot. What do you think the price is going to be? Yes, you know, when everyone wants something, it's pretty expensive. And when no one wants something, demand is low, it's pretty low. Again, a lot of this supply and demand is common sense. You have a pretty good idea of how supply and demand affect price. But let's go into the details. The first part of the lesson is going to be, this thing's driving me crazy. The first part of this lesson is going to be common sense. And you already know this. And then in the second half of the lesson, we'll go into the microeconomics, the details, probably something that'll be new to you, might be challenging to you, but it's definitely worth going over. So imagine you own a tomato business. This year's harvest was great. And so you have tons and tons and tons of tomatoes. That is awesome. There might be a slight problem though. You got too many tomatoes. You have to get rid of them fast. And so in order to get rid of all these tomatoes, this high supply, you got to get rid of them before they go bad. What are you going to do if you need to get rid of them in a hurry? You lower the price to sell them. So in this scenario, and there's a bunch of different scenarios. This is just one that I've picked out. There are other scenarios. We'll go into more detail. But this is an example of when you have a high supply of something, when something is not rare. By definition, if there's a high supply, it is not rare. It is not limited. Basically, anyone can get it. And if anyone can get it, that usually is going to drop the price. So when supply is high, price is low. Let's look at it the opposite scenario. You own a tomato business. This year's harvest was bad, so the supply is very low. There are very few tomatoes in the country or in your region where you live. They are scarce. Remember that word before, scarcity. Goods are limited, the inability to satisfy all needs or wants. And so in this case, tomatoes are scarce. We're unable to satisfy the desire to buy tomatoes. If people want them, they're going to have to fight for them. Now, in a market, in economics, in a free market, when people fight over a good, they don't literally punch each other in the face. Now, there may be some occasions on Black Friday where people literally punch themselves in the face. Well, not themselves. They punch someone else in the face because something is scarce. But for the most part, in markets, fighting comes with bidding. It comes with money. We don't punch. We say, well, I'll give you $5. Well, I'll give you $7. It's basically like an auction. You fight between somebody by naming a higher price and a higher price. There's one tomato left. I'll give you $5. I'll give you $6. I'll give you $7. $10 for the last tomato. See, tomatoes scarce, low supply. What happened to the price? The price goes up for those tomatoes. People are willing to spend more. Supply, thus, has affected the price of the good. And it's not just tomatoes. Now, this is a very simple way of explaining it. You can go into more details of how specifically supply connects with human interaction, but you get the basic idea. When the supply of something is high, it's not rare. And so people are unwilling to pay a high price. Usually the price drops. But when something goes low with supply, the supply goes down, and it's very rare, and it's hard to get. People are willing to spend more to get that rare object. In this case, it's a tomato. Supply goes down, price goes up. What about demand? You own a business. And in this business, people love your product. The demand is high. They are demanding it. They want your stuff. They are really excited about getting your Jordan Air Force One Yeezy high top light up shoes with a wheel in them. So you raise the price. Wait, why did you just raise the price? Think about it. Again, people really want it. And again, in a free market, So imagine a market, a store where people are fighting over who gets the shoes. I really want them. No, I really want them. Who do I give these shoes to? Look, it's not a supply thing. Well, I can give them to both of you. I have enough shoes to sell them to you. I have enough to show them to you, and everybody gets a pair of shoes as long as you pay my price. And I look at you and I think, oh, you really want these really bad, don't you? Well, I could charge you $5. You're like, yes. Okay, well, but I could also charge you $7. And you say, yes. Can I charge you $10? Yes. Are you willing to pay $20 for my shoes because you like them that much? Yes, just give me the shoes. Take my money already. That's how it works. When demand goes up, price goes up. Let's look at the opposite scenario. You own a business and people hate your product. The demand is low. No one wants your shoes. Your shoes are so 2000 and late. We don't want those shoes anymore. That's what people used to wear. I'm stuck with all these shoes. I got to sell these shoes or I'm going to go out of business. Maybe if I can make some money, then I can make some new shoes that are hot. But right now, I got to get rid of these shoes that no one wants. The demand is low. And in order to get rid of these old 2000 and late shoes that no one wants, I'm going to have to lower the price. Here, buy my shoes, $20. I'm not paying $20 for those kicks. Those aren't even kicks. $10? Nope. $5? Nope. $1? All right, you know what? I'll give you $1 and I'll just use them when I'm out working in the yard. Demand goes down and so does price. Here's some examples from your lifetime. Maybe you're too young for this, but high supply, low price. What are some scenarios? Silly bands, if you remember those. They were everywhere and they were worth almost nothing. Flip-flops. You ever buy flip-flops at Dollar General or Family Dollar? They're just a piece of plastic with no, I'm not talking about your fancy slides. I'm talking about flip-flops, like shower flip-flops, beach flip-flops that you don't care about. High supply, low price. Cheaper cars, TVs, high supply, low price. Low supply, high price. Gold bracelets. Gold is rare. Everyone wants it, but not everyone can have it. It's scarce, so the price is up. Jordans are typically very rare, or maybe not super rare, but not everyone can have them. They're not everywhere. They don't make pair of Jordans after Jordan after Jordans. Bugatti, there are only a few of these cars in the world, so they're very scarce, and when it is very limited, then only a few people can buy them, and you get into an auction. I'll pay you $1 million, $1 billion, $2 billion, $3 trillion. The price goes up. You get it. Some more examples of demand. High demand, iPads. People love Apple products. They love Apple. People love Apple, and they're willing to pay whatever price. You always wonder, like, why does the iPhones get cheaper? Typically, as we invent better technology and technology companies become more efficient, prices drop. If it becomes easier for them to make goods, the price should drop. But people love Apple so much. Again, we're willing to pay more and more and more for Apple. And you're going to see like Samsung prices actually drop a little bit. Android devices, those prices drop. But the demand for Apple products is so high, the price is always so high. Some examples of low demand products like walnuts. Not really people love walnuts. The price of a walnut is relatively cheap. Kobe tablet, if you don't know what that is, that's my point. Exactly. It's a cheap knockoff tablet that no one wants, and you can typically go get one at Walmart for about $20. That's right, a touchscreen tablet for $20. That's because of the demand. No one wants it, so in order for them to sell it, they have to lower the price. Again, there it is on your screen, supply and demand. Supply goes up, price goes down. Supply goes down, price goes down. Or price goes up. What? Supply goes up, price goes down. Supply goes down, price goes up. Notice that is inverted. There's an inverse relationship. Price does the opposite of supply. But when we go to demand, they do the same thing. If demand's up and everybody wants it, then price goes up. And if demand goes down, then price goes down. We're looking at a supply curve. Slow down. This is where we're going to take it to the next level, and we're going to get a little heavy here. So a supply curve basically says that if I supply pizzas, if I am selling pizzas, if the price of a pizza is $7, I'll sell one. Or the people, or our town, all the pizza places in town, there's one pizza place that agrees, well, all right, we'll sell a pizza for $7. But notice, as the price goes up to $8, we'll notice that, hey, now I can sell, there's someone else that's willing, like, whoa, okay, for $8, I'm going to get in the pizza game too. I agree to sell pizza. So in this town, in this small micro economy, when it was only $7, there's only one person willing to make one pizza. Now the market has grown. People are saying, okay, I'll get on that. $8 seems like a better deal. And as the price goes up, more supply is available because more money can be made. More people want to participate. If I can sell pizzas for $10, then I want to get in. But not very many people want to get in on this when you can only sell pizza for $7. So as supply goes up, it goes up with price. The supply curve follows price. More people want to supply pizza when you can sell more pizza at a higher price. The demand curve goes in a different direction, because this is not who's supplying the pizza. This is who's demanding the pizza. This is who's buying the pizza. So at $10, no one wants to buy a pizza. It's too expensive. That's too expensive for me. Now, as the price goes down, more people are willing to buy a pizza. At $9, there's one person that says, I'll buy a pizza. And at $8, again, it's cheaper. More people are willing to buy a pizza. At $7, and if we would say that's $6, 4 people are willing to buy a pizza. That's your supply. Again, supply is the supply side, the people that are producing the pizza. They're trying to make money. So as they can make more money, they will make more pizza. It's an opposite relation. As a person, you are not trying to spend your money. You are trying to save your money. You're trying to get the best deal possible. So when the price is high, very few people in the town want to buy pizza. But as the price drops, more people are willing to engage in buying pizzas. Throw the supply line together. Along with the demand line, here's your supply and demand curve. So we're going to take that common sense idea that we already have. We already know that supply affects price. We already know that demand affects price. Now we're going to look at it from a scientific perspective. We're going to look at it like economists. We're going to take some microeconomics. This is a microeconomics lesson here. Imagine you are the pizza place and you want to sell pizzas for $9. Okay, fine. Look, we think about this a lot. Where does price come from? We always get this idea that the store is selling pizzas for whatever they want, or that McDonald's makes their own price and we just have to deal with it. That is not the case. Stores do not make their prices up on their own. If they do, they will not be in business for very long. Get that out of your head. And we know clearly that you don't determine the price. You don't tell the pizza place, this is what the price is going to be. But technically you do. Wait, what? You're confusing me. Think about this. They don't name the price. You don't name the price. But together, you both work together to find the price. That's what we're going to show you in this video. They want to sell pizzas for $9. But only one person is willing to buy pizzas for $9. So in this scenario, the pizza place at $9 will make 3 pizzas. Because remember, the higher the price, the more they want to sell. So at $9, they're willing to supply 3 pizzas. So they've made 3 pizzas. Problem. Only one person wants to buy a pizza at $9. We have created a surplus. You made too many pizzas. You made 3, but you only sold 1. Now you sold that one for $9, which was the price that you wanted, but no one else was willing to buy a pizza at $9. You had to throw 2 of those out. That's a problem. That is a surplus. Again, $3. But only one person was willing to buy at that price. So that's another example of why the business does not determine the price. They don't just make up the prices on their own. If they do, they'll end up with a surplus. They have to work with the consumer. All right, let's try another situation. The supplier says, fine, I get it. You don't want to spend $9 on a pizza. $7. Cut you a deal, right? You're welcome. Well, we got another problem because it's $7. Because they're not making as much money, they don't want to make as many pizzas. And so the pizza place, although they've cut their price at $7, you really only want to supply 1. Again, you want to supply more when you can charge more. And you're going to supply less when you charge less. Well, at $7, 3 people want to buy pizzas, but you're only willing to make 1. So now we have a deficit. Yes, you sold a pizza for $7, but you missed 2 sales. There were 2 people that walked into the store and said, all right, give me that $7 pizza. You say, sorry, I'm really only willing to supply 1 at $7 because I just don't make that much money. It just doesn't work out economically for me. Now we're going to find what is the equilibrium. Now you might have already been able to figure this out. You might be a couple steps ahead. If you did, great, good job. You're a great economics student. So this is the equilibrium. where the supply and demand curve meet and determine price. This is where the producer and the consumer, the supplier and the demander meet together in their negotiations and determine the price of a good. This is how we get the price of everything. In this scenario, 2 pizzas are made for $8 and 2 pizzas are sold for $8. There is no surplus. There is no deficit. It is a perfect marriage here. I'm willing to make 2 for $8 and there are 2 people willing to buy it for $8. It's perfect. This is how supply has come together to determine price and how demand has come together and to determine price. This is perfect. This is supply and demand. We'll talk about more in the next video.